And welcome back, guys. Sorry for that little hiccup, but you're, of course, still watching the Predator Alliance League 2020 Summer powered by Globe Telecom Twitch Student and presented by Globe Prepaid's Virtual Hangouts. We are your shoutcasters for the day. For Hearthstone, I am Hyron. With me is Percy, and we'll be getting
Yep.
into the quarterfinal
Quarterfinals. Yeah.
today. And first match is going to be between U-Splash and Red Static, which were our day one, from day one of our eliminations.
Yeah, it's been a while since day one, right? And we can
Mhm.
see the bracket so far, how and how all of these players have gone through two expansions worth of content and juked it out for a slot in uh in our next matches. So we have Splash taking down Aurelius with his homebrew decks, Red Static comeback, Dippy and Zels just being calm and collected, Shampoo and Raph doing the same thing, and Enrico giving us fireworks as well as JJ the Rockmaster clawing through the trial decks of Hadyun.
Yeah, quite a fun set of days for Hearthstone. You and Leo were casting that right after Scholomance came out,
Exactly.
and now I'm back here, and we're gonna have to see how this all plays out here. U-Splash versus Red Static, Ateneo de Manila University LG Esports versus University of San Agustin Golden Eagles Static. So, Red Static rather. So, coming into this, of course.
The forest
Okay,
fights back.
there we go. So. This is gonna, of course, gonna be the DH versus Druid, and of course, you guys have to support your schools, guys. ADMU or USA, or even if you are just friends or fans of these players, can go and share the stream with the hashtag Globe Prepaid Virtual Hangout for a chance to win some Blizzard credits. That's our Virtual Hangouts chat rally for today. Even though we didn't have Virtual Hangouts earlier, let's get right into this. Turn one, Blazing Battle Mage, easy one drop here for the DH.
Of course, it's the staple one drop as it is the most overstated one drop in the game right now. Out of Dire Mole's 1 mana 1 3, now we have a 1 mana 2 2, and this hyper aggressive Lightning Bloom into Overgrowth assures that we have future turn 3, I should say. Emerald Explorers. Wow, this is some old school stuff, Hyro.
Definitely, just go straight for the ramp. That's really the game plan here for you, Splash. Ideally, you get to 7 mana crystals as soon as possible, so you can get a lot of value off of his spells here. Glowfly Swarm, not gonna give him too much to work with turn 5, but then again, the mana burn is gonna let Red Static catch up a little bit, and he is still building up his threats here.
Yeah, and the mana burn here was on the offset that you splash us a bog beam to clear this board. But he might as well just play the mana burn again because he needs to fill out his card. And he needs to fill out his hand. Dump him also. He can Voracious Reader into just gain more
But
value.
he does go for more 1/1s, equipping a weapon as well. This taunt here is gonna put a hamper on those plans though. 4-8, beefy stat line, more than enough to, yeah, really more than enough here to block all of these small minions here coming in from Red Static.
Yeah, and without Kane yet in the Demon Hunter's hand, this is going to be difficult to deal with. You have to hit it with everything you have got. And yeah, we still do not have player cams because it's kind of awkward for one player to have a cam and there's another player who's
It's
not.
like Mike Wazowski on the
Oh, no, no,
on the,
yeah.
on the other picture. Yeah, so I think game 2 we will have player cams. So let's just see. Red Static here thinking what his options are, but he might just have to bite the bullet here and send his minions into this 4-8.
Yes, your health
Ooh.
is your own resource, so taking 4 here doesn't really matter. This mana burn here also matters
Yeah, it's
because
gonna be
it
big here.
denies. It's a huge deny.
So still though, it's gonna have to hurt for Red Static to not keep those minions for long. Just a 2-3 here. That might give you Splash enough time here to get his game plan going. He is mana burned here, but
Does not stop him from Glowfly swarming into 3 minions.
oh, does he go Bog Beam
Now,
though?
how
No,
I think
you have
about
to
uh,
you have to
Glowfly
work with the
Swarm.
cards that you're dealt with here. You have overflow for next turn, so you have the second Glowfly swarm for value. And Demon Hunter has minimal ways to deal with this board.
And Red Static's hand here. It does have the Altruist with a small hand, but without the voracious. Oh, he does have the voracious reader here, but it is gonna get easily cleared as well.
Yes,
So
and without the mana to play Altruist into your huge board tiers, we're going to see conservative red static come back in this setup right here. Just calm down.
yeah, now with Splash taking the initiative at this point, very solid board, a way to refuel as well. So this is looking pretty good for the Druid, and this is one of the reasons why.
Whoa.
Well, oh, ooh,
Oh wow, that's some spicy. That's a spicy pick right there. An
Deathwing.
emergency Deathwing.
Yeah, I mean he's already quite ahead at this point. The Deathwing acts as a bit of a panic button if Red Static just goes off here. He is gonna go for the Voracious Reader at this
Yeah, but
point.
yeah, just
Let me work my magic.
I guess the druid has already stabilized into his big minions. How this is old spell druid, by the way. This isn't the guardian animals druid.
Yeah,
Because
and
probably Use
still.
Splash is working on a schedule on
Mhm.
how he really can't update most of the decks, or he really trusts in this spell druid that it is just that powerful in a
Yeah.
tournament setup.
Yeah, it's been working quite well for him. Like that initial ramp, like quick ramp, turn two. This means that he's quite set up very, very well. And looking at this, it's gonna be tough for the DH to deal with this.
I can deal with the glow flies, but the big statted minions are going to stick. And this is already game, would you say, Hiron?
So
Especially
I
with this
mean,
attack here.
uh, yeah, I think this is definitely a game here. I mean, Splash has the cards. He has the board.
And
Red
Isera
Static
Awakens.
doesn't have
Good
anything
night.
yet. Sarah Awakens as well, just to seal out the lethal. So that was really quick coming in from Splash, proving that this Spell Druid is still a contender in Alliance League.
Yeah, it's interesting for me, given the fact that we're all transitioning into the new meta and how we see ladder being plagued with druids playing guardian animals into survival of the fittest, into kill fast, into all of the new cards, into Kidra, all of that new shenanigans, but you splash keeping it classic
Yeah.
and showing us that yeah, the old guns are still here to stay.
If you can just ramp up that early and put down a taunt against a deck that wants to keep the tempo, keep going aggressive, and that's just going to put a hamper in his game plan, and that gave Splash pretty much many free turns just to keep building his own power base, get the value from his cards, and Red Static is gonna have to readjust. I mean, of course, the Druid is gonna be taken off the table. Uh,
And
but
now
yeah.
he's gonna have to contend with the old shaman. You have this was banned before from
Yes, we didn't see
Uselash's
it
week one.
before.
We didn't see this one, but this is Galakron Evolve Quest Tempo Shaman, not Highlander.
Saw
I don't know what to
Highlander.
make about that, Tyron.
Hmm, me neither. But going into this game here, I am excited to see how this shaman is gonna fare. Uh, I mean, last time we didn't get to see it in action, but maybe we'll be able to see how it pops off here at this point.
Yeah, maybe Usplash believes in his decks to a point that he shares some sort of what partnership with it, like an
Yeah.
IBO type of partnership. How you have to stick with these two decks, and then the other ones just flex. This this Paladin ban, I did mention in my notes how Red Static is going to ban the Paladin because it's Usplash's only up to date deck among all of his decks here. But being beaten down by an old deck must feel bad, don't you think?
Of course, that DH, not really too many changes to the DH game plan from Skolomans. Of course, he did slot in the Marrow Slicer, but doesn't really have the Soul Fragment synergy just there to get a 4-2 weapon. Uh, it's still the same game plan, and it is still the same kind of matchup there for the Spell Shaman with a DH, but it is, of course, going to be the Paladin here against the Shaman. It's really excited to see how this all fares here
Yeah, and
for
we can
Splash.
look at the deck lists again and see if this shaman has any disrupt that will just destroy all of the paladin's buffs. And Let's go at it with the shaman. He has an Iron Beak Owl. Not an Earth Shock, an Iron Beak Owl. To disrupt all of this one and done buffing from the Paladin.
Of course, if Red Static here before the Iron Beak Owl comes down, I mean, if you have a decently wide buff board, one Iron Beak Owl isn't going to be enough to stop all of the pressure coming in from Red Static. Of course, no first day of school here. Turn one for Red Static, which is unfortunate for them, but still decent start here coming in from this Paladin. It's pure
Yeah.
Paladin.
At least he has a decent curve going into 2, 3, and 4, and an emergency hand of Vidal in order to draw your cards. Because
Deck list, so I think
Yeah.
Red Static knows that the RNG Owl could come down in the later turns, so he's probably not gonna put his eggs in one basket here.
exactly. And how Red Static is playing this
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait, what happened?
Of course it's the right way.
Percy, your mic muted suddenly. Yeah.
Whoops. I was going to
there
meet
we go.
someone else, but I apologize. But
Yeah.
I am surprised how Red Static transformed his conservative play into more of a all-in aggressive play with the Coin Light for Zealot when you have safer plays during the next turns. For you can just play the Light for Zealot and you can just play your goody two-shields so that everything is on the board, because Light for Zealot is technically a fast card because you can equip a weapon with it and you don't have continuation afterwards. It's going to be difficult if like this happens, it gets cleared and you'd have less to deal with.
Yeah. And no, since Red Static knows that Uspy has a way of dealing with like a single tall buff minion, I don't think he's gonna go like just for the clear his mana here to go for double hand of dog. I think it's just gonna have to be goody two shields.
Yeah.
Thankfully here, is there something that can clear the goody two shields immediately? Of course, he can't just take it out with a 1/1, the divine shield.
He can trade into it, Goblin Lackey the Faceless
Yeah,
Lackey,
he can. He
and
can.
then
Does
weaponize
have
the
the rush
Wasp
lackey.
into whatever's left. And this
So-
clears the board.
Yeah, and that's just less value here again from Red Static. I think he really valued getting that True Silver Champion up on turn 3, but I don't think it really paid off too well for him here. And of course, the quest is going to get finished here for you, Splash. It's going to be quite tough for Red Static to get back here.
Yeah, this is the problem of Paladin in general, is that if you deal with all of its minions, it's going to have a difficult time
I
to
do love
set up its
good
buffs. That's why
fighting.
Divine Shield is the core mechanic of Paladin, because you're going to need all of the damage soakers you have in order for your board to stay alive.
And right here, though, 4/5 Divine Shield Taunt is going to be decent coming in from Red Static. And though the game plan here for you, Splash, is still definitely up
Completing
and
the
running.
quest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he completed the quest. That's basically one on the checklist off for you, Splash. And now Red Status got to be looking for ways to contest this, really.
Yeah, and remember, the invoke of the Galakron Shaman is summoning a 2/1 Wind Elemental, which it has rush and is very proactive and reactive to the minions of the Paladin side.
What Static can put out, you, Splash, likely has something to deal with it. And that's going to have to be tough here for Red Static. Really, really tough.
Yeah, so right now it's just about people
I
into
do
Libram
like
because
good
you don't really have much here. You can play Liadrin next turn into just grabbing two
Yeah.
Librams of these two Librams back, along with the next one if this Devout Pupil does die. But that's going to be a weak Liadrin, and you might as well have drawn in with your Hand of Adults in some later turns so that you can get your engine running.
It's gonna be a Harville Nar, I guess. So, yeah, that is gonna knock out the Divine Shield at this point. He does have also the Fog Spine. Yeah, that is gonna be. Is that? No, it's not.
It's not
the
enough.
Divine Shield. Sorry, my math was off.
But
But-
he can go with the Clacker here, then evolve into
Yeah.
minions that are cost 2 more. So a 4 drop and a 3 drop are
Mhm.
gonna come in on the board.
This evil totem here is gonna get generating quite a bit of value as well behind that taunt. So this has to place. Oh, opts not to evolve just yet. As you mentioned in our when we were taking notes on this, the timing for those evolves is really important to get the maximum amount of value that you can get. Of course, here consecration definitely clears all of that, meaning yeah, meaning that there's nothing to evolve here for you, Splash. Still keeping that for later in the game here, but it's giving Red Static more chances to get back in this game and keep the engine going for this pure paladin.
Yeah, but right now with the weaponized wasp picked up, he will be able to clear this board. With a Titanic lacking on nothing, I think you'd rather play the Hungry
Conserving,
Crab.
yeah, the Hungry Crab, but it seems like he's really conserving the Hungry Crab for something, but he
Maybe
is
the
gonna
Murgle in the deck, but
perhaps, but still,
it's
you
very
know,
cringe.
yeah, it's super fringe here, but it is gonna be ooh.
Yes, there we go. We have some spell burst mechanics again. I forgot
Can't
the name of
see it
that minion, but
itself.
that is a rogue minion. That is a rogue
Yeah,
minion.
but I can't see it behind. I can't see the artwork. Oh, I see it. Yeah,
Yeah. Stealth is weird like that, Hyro.
Job done.
Right now, the Paladin is just happy with buffing 1 minion at a time, and this Shaman is trying to deal with the threats over and over. Oh, and you can see the Hungry Crab glowing, and that's because of the of the Demon Hunter Murloc over there. Pretty weird.
I
But right
mean,
now, another clacker for twice.
go for the evolve as well. This is gonna be U Splash just generating a lot of power on board if he gets really good evolve results on field.
He's going for the high roll evolves.
Ooh, okay,
Mozaki, two
exactly.
legendaries.
But Flick though, I think that's a
Ah,
very solid downgrade from
yeah.
what he originally had. But
Because
still,
it had stealth and then there's
not
nothing.
bad. Red Static is. I don't think is it. This isn't really enough to make Red Static sweat though. And then at this point, yes, you splash. He did have the hero
Whoa.
power. He does have quite a lot of minions on board, but Red Static is giving him just more chances to uh build up this power base for this pure paladin.
Yeah,
Look at
and
that,
Red Static,
seven
here's
nine.
the conservative play here. He does not go for the Blessing of Authority into Braggart, which
Mhm.
will be instantly winning if it wasn't losing through Iron Beak Owl, which he doesn't have right now.
Yeah, doesn't have just yet. Doesn't draw into it as well. And this hand looking kind of awkward here for you, Splash.
Bog Spine
Yeah.
Crawler's been sitting since turn 1 and
Mhm.
it's not bringing him any value.
Yeah, and he is gonna try and evolve here.
Just keep evolving and hope
Mhm.
for like the big stuff. What's a big 7
Yeah,
drop?
it does clear the 7-7-4 though.
Not a big 7 drop. That's a streak of
Why?
4s. That's a streak of 4 Siron.
Oh man, that is unfortunate here. He is gonna get another go at it. Um, he does have one more durability on that weapon here, but Red Static, he's gonna be looking pretty comfortable at this point. Actually, Ryu Splash only at one card, and it is the Hungry Crab. And he does have quite a few minions on board, but these are quite easily taken out by the 7/7. One is behind the top. And it is gonna depend on
With
oh
this
yeah.
4-4. We're finally over with the 4-4 streaks. But this Allura into Wisdom is gonna probably get a Libram of Hope,
Job done.
or
First we have school.
not bad.
It does give him 2/1/1s on hand. It's not terrible. Uh
Whoa.
yeah, that 1-4 doing
Nice,
work, huh?
nice. Yeah, but
And at this point, hand looking uh it's pretty meh hand to BH. He can evolve it, and he is gonna get
oh, he's gonna get some
yeah,
value
he
from
get a little
here.
bit of value from here, but compared to Red Static with a comfortable hand, still has a little bit of fuel, has decent stats on board. Is it gonna be enough here for you, Splash? He's thinking.
This is going to be again an uphill battle. He's been
Mhm,
treading this path for well over 3 or 4 turns now, with just
mhm.
living off of top decks, not getting your draws, not
Yeah.
getting any value generation. This this attack here. He's probably just gonna frost shock and not attack.
Mhm.
Maybe you should have attacked first so that you don't accidentally evolve your Squall Hunter, which is already goodly statted at 4 as a 4 mana 5/7. But I don't see how the Shaman can come back in.
Yeah, I really even with the Ironbark, Red Static still has a wide.
Whoa.
Can still build up a wide array of minions here, but let's see what he
Downgrade!
gets. What?
Downgrade!
Why?
You hate to see it. As the
Really
Evolved
hate
Shaman,
to
you
see
hate
it.
to see downgrades.
And that's really the just the nature of what you're rolling with,
It's
right?
not
Like,
lethal.
mhm,
He's
not
going for
quite.
Blessing of Authority, but it's not yet lethal.
Yeah, of course you can't attack minions. You can't attack the hero after the Blessing of Authority here, but still, huge stats
Oh,
is gonna mean that this is quite solidly in Red Static's favor. And would you say that not playing or not evolving those tutus and them getting consecrated, was that the point where U Splash went dipping into the downhill?
yeah, I guess he didn't really play around the fact
Mhm.
of consecration. Yeah, that is a good spot there,
Yeah,
Hyron. How
because
you have
after
already.
that,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
ran out of minions to evolve, and that was really, really unfortunate. Hungry Crab from the alarm bot.
yeah.
Poggers.
Yeah, so this is how fun Hearthstone is. Even if you still have your old decks, you can still play in this competitive setup and just wow your opponents with stuff that doesn't really happen in really hyper serious gameplay.
Mhm.
It's very showman-like for Usplash to be bringing the old flair. And this is looking like lethal for Red Static with the extra Librams of Hope, Librams of Wisdom. Wow, that's a lot. And the Hand of Adal to boot.
Yeah, it's lost. He is gonna give that super beefy. U-Splash sees the writing on the wall here. He is gonna accept his death here. Let Red Static take the finishing blow.
Yes, that is the also a very showman-like way to go out, right?
He's gonna
Love to see.
die with die with honor here.
There we go.
That is gonna be a 1-1 here for U-Splash and Red Static. So really exciting. And at this point, it is gonna be what is this? The Shaman and
The Demon Hunter.
yeah, DH and Shaman here for both of these players. So this is gonna be this Shaman from U-Splash versus Red Static's DH. What do you think of that? Like this inevitable or this unavoidable matchup here in this game 3.
Seeing as how Usplash was able to complete his quest relatively early on, if he's able to keep that up, he'll be in the running to keep the Demon Hunter out of lethal range. But he'll be able to generate his own board. He'll be able to evolve into hopefully more decent statted minions than what he's evolved into, and deal with the threats accordingly. And this is going to be looking like a 50-50 for me.
It does look like that for me as well. I mean, it's also gonna depend a lot on not just the fortune when it comes to evolves, but also the timing, right? Like earlier, I think
Yes.
U-Splash has to be more careful about what possible ways Red Static can have to like deny the evolves, like deny the crucial evolves like earlier. Of course, this DH does have a couple ways of doing that, like similar to the Paladin, but I don't think there's any. Yeah, has to be careful there, especially if there's the altruist, the outcast out, and you have all these small minions on board for use flash. Then you have to consider if he can pull out the altruist here. Do I evolve now to get better stats if I have smaller minions? That's gonna be crucial, I think, coming into this very important game. After all, single elimination. If whoever loses here, their journey for this Alliance League summer is gonna be ending.
Yeah, and right now the important cards for both players are just all of the ways that they can disrupt their opponent through weaponized wasps for use splash. Mana burn for red static is going to be important so that those crucial evolve turns don't turn into uh, don't go in his favor, right? If he wants to evolve now, you have at least a way to prevent
I got you, friend.
decent evolves coming into the next turns or so. Now we have just have a standard Demon Hunter coin, battlefield into uh, the Screaming Sidekick.
Splash putting out the totem here, but just get one lackey off of it. This is, of course, quite surely just gonna get smacked in the head here in the face as the battlefield does get
I got
2-4.
you, friend.
So
Yeah, and right now it's only looking like an Iron Beak Owl here to grab this 2-6 away from just snowballing. No
yeah,
Undertaker for you right now.
2-6 to 1-2. Pretty good value off of that Iron Beak Owl. Demon
Here's
Companion. Interested to see how this actually fares in lists, because looking at it, yeah, looking at Demon Companion, you get basically half of an Animal Companion, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
in a deck like Red Static, I think the Mini Leok would be super good here, but the Charge 2-1 still pretty decent for his game plan.
Yeah, because this 2-1 is gonna get cleared by the Sandstorm Elemental because you do need to play all of your battle cries
Hmm.
so that you'll be able to complete your quest. Sure, you're not gonna be able to get some value off of your Sandstorm Elementals to deal 2 damage, but you might as well mitigate as most damage as you can, which U-Splash definitely does. And for Red Static, the whole reason why you have Demon Companions in your list is because you're running a lot of your 1-drops. So that, and then you combo it with your Voracious Readers so that you'll be able to draw more. You'll be able to just keep on cycling with the Voracious Readers if it doesn't get dealt with.
That's the plan here, and definitely U-Splash is feeling it. Doesn't have quite the board presence here for an evolving for the crab here,
Right now, you can just
and
grab
yeah,
into.
just put down his other minions. He does have 4 mana at this point. Get
Yeah,
another lackey out.
uh-huh,
It's pretty
exactly.
much. I mean, this is pretty much like
Go
two
for it.
mana, 2 mana, block 2 damage from face, get a lackey. That's actually pretty decent from the evil totem, which is of
Corner.
course uh yeah.
Who would have expected it? Whoa!
Yeah, I mean knife juggler.
Wow.
Right?
Knife Juggler took 4 damage away from the face, I should
Mhm.
say.
Here comes the Voracious Reader. It is only going to draw 1 at this point, but draw 1 is already pretty good at this stage of the game for the DH.
Exactly.
And
This Nidhogg can just contest the board here. The 0 free
Mhm.
eggs are just fine.
oh, you're gonna try and discover a dragon instead.
Because of the weaponized wasp, he can just
Hmm.
destroy the Voracious Reader, prevent this Demon Hunter from gaining any more cards, and you'll
Yeah,
be able to get yourself a stabilization from some dragons.
and 20? That's actually not a bad health total here for you, Splash, at this point.
Oh, he's hovering over it.
Twilight Drake is only gonna be getting 3, but of course you can just save that for later. And
Quest
Weaponized
completed.
Wasp, easy kill on that Voracious Reader. And Heart of Renal. Actually, that works with the Twilight Drake as well.
Yeah, it's still pretty nice. Your 4 free turns into a 4/5. Even you have
Mhm.
this minuscule minions on the board, and yeah, this is looking like Red Statics is going to keep on clearing. Hope that he draws into either Skull of Gul'dan into Voracious Reader so that he can reload. Because the more that he's trading into U-Splash's minions, the longer that U-Splash can come back into this game, bring out his bigger threats, and just snowball from there.
Okay, a lot of burn is gonna put a stopper on some of his plans here. Only 5 mana to work with. Can just go for the Shield of Galcon, of course.
That's a
Uh,
good top deck.
mhm.
Very good top deck.
Very nice. And even if the Kane Sun Fury, it's not like you're gonna put it down to so that these 2/1/1s can go face. So
Now
Red
you
Static,
can with your Og Merchant.
yeah. Yeah, actually, Og Merchant, good pickup there from Red Static.
This is the trading blows type of high stakes Hearthstone that I definitely would love to see.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at that, Red Static, out of cards in hand, has to hope for his card draw. I don't think he's running glides. No, he's not. So
He's not.
he just has the Voracious Reader as well as the Skull of Gul'dan
Here's
to
some
work with.
Desperado moves. He's going.
Yeah.
You splash going for Nidhogg into the eggs
Mhm.
again. But now
So-
for these eggs are actually scary.
Super scary. 4 of them would rush. That means if Red Static can't reload here.
Oh,
Oh, he does get the Skull of Gul'dan, but does he is gonna reduce their cost by 3 as well. So let's see.
Oh, I see a line for next turn. He has to save all of this. He
Yeah.
has to save all of
Let's
this.
see if Red Static has the foresight here. Is he gonna pull out the altruist immediately here?
Wow.
That's very brash here coming in from Red Static.
You'd think him as
But
a conservative player, but maybe this is looking like the proper play. Only one,
yeah,
only
only
one
one
dragon
rusher.
madness.
And he still has a very wide board that U-Splash will have a little bit of trouble dealing with.
But altruist is.
Mhm.
Oh, that's also good pickup. The elementalist. If you just hero power into your elementalist, you. Oh wow, you just gain a board. Gain a board of 2/2 rushers. Just clear with this board, and this is like you splash going to take it away.
Yeah, and with these low health minions coming from Red Static, it's gonna be a wash here. This board, Red Static is gonna have to be feeling quite uh, disappointed in his outcome there from that U-Splash draw. Whew.
Back and forth top decks. Only
Mhm.
here in the
Yeah.
Alliance League.
Yeah, this is just giving life. I know you guys are we're super excited to watch
Wow.
all of this. And more Skull of Gul'dan plays for Red Static. It's really just haymakers back and forth between U-Splash and Red Static.
Okay, that's it. Okay, that's fine.
Ooh, Rossman. I mean, yeah, you do get the draw anyway. And this is gonna give him a heal 4. But from the Skull of Gul'dan draws it's themselves, it's pretty meh.
Yeah, but right now, Red Static has to shift gears. He has to what? He just has to keep dealing face damage because he's been dealing. He should have dealt a lot more face damage a while ago, but that would have made him prone for from
Yeah,
evolves. And
that's
he's yeah.
and if he tried to go face there and tried to race, U-Splash could have just killed him at this point. Potentially, depending on the evolves. And still though, still going
Not a
pretty
fan of the
straight.
trade.
Sometimes I think Red Static just really got to bite the bullet here, find more time. He's already used both Skulls of Gul'dan. I think he still has one Voracious Reader in the deck here, but U-Splash is just gonna.
The top ends are gone from Red Static.
Mhm. He
They're
just
just
has to work with the low end of his deck here to try and finish off the game. But 15 HP, that's still quite the health total for U-Splash.
it's
And
too
he,
much, I would say.
yeah, and he's constantly getting these like 2-1 rushes. And that's
Oh,
just tough here for Red Static.
there we go. This seals the deal. The Storm's Wrath
Mhm.
off of that note taker is pretty good. Yeah, and how yeah, chat is definitely right. They do definitely agree with me that Altruist should have been kept for a later turns for burst. That's
Because
something
at
that
that
Red
point,
Static
he
could
was
take
really
note.
short for that. He was really short for any to get anything more out of that altruist. And
And
yeah,
that's the game, my friend. The battle of
it
the
is.
top decks is over. You Splash comes out triumphant with his
Mhm.
Galakron, Evolve, Tempo, Quest, everything all at once Shaman.
Yeah,
Job's done.
Goes off to the
and
semis.
You possess true power.
ooh, this is tough. This is tough indeed.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but that's how it be. Someone has to emerge victorious, and this was a very good outing. Yeah, and as some people in the chat have also said, the Demon Hunt. This is where Red Static went too much on his conservative side,
Yeah,
where he should have just gone face and dealt the pressure.
yeah, super. Lots of trading. I mean, there was so much damage that went to use Splash's minions and not to his face. I mean, of course, can you really, can you really take any chances with the evolved shaman? But I guess that line of play would have given more chances for Red Static to finish him off. Like the lower your health total is, the more scared you Splash has to play. Even if he gets like a taunt off of an evolve, it's still gonna be tough if Red Static keeps pulling out the face damage. But yeah, that was quite an exciting series from ADMU U Splash and USA Red Static. Really excited to see how these next quarterfinal games will play out.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to note. It's also kind of a learning experience for not only Red Static, who doesn't who plays a lot very conservatively. It's a good lesson for him. Good lesson for those who want to pick up Demon Hunter, and just overall fireworks in the on the board last game.
I think that is going to be it for our first best of three for the Predator Alliance League 2020 summer, our collegiate Hearthstone League thriving. And that's all thanks to you guys. Of course, we're going to have one more match here. I think this is going to be whoever wins here is going to be facing off against the winner for this match. So it is going to be Dippy versus Zels. So we're going to have to see you after a short break. I'm Hyron. With me was Percy. We'll be seeing you with more collegiate esports Hearthstone action after a short break.